Hey everyone, this is my Patreon proud reaction to the 39th episode of Uchuu Kyoudai, or Space Brothers. And last episode, Muta, successfully became an astronaut and got to meet up with some other people that successfully became astronauts, the people in his class that's also succeeded. People that we are familiar with, like Surika and Kenji, and, other people, Nita, I think, as well, was there. But we also get to see some people that failed, which was nice, I suppose. But not everyone can make it. A certain person wasn't able to make it, but sent some encouraging, texts, Meru. So that was nice of him, I suppose. So yeah, now that Muta's gotten this far, I'm definitely curious what his next big thing will be. Will he go into space this episode? Will he not? I guess we will find out. So let's watch it to enable us to find out that information. So, 3, 2, 1, play. Sakura Petals is a nice way to start the episode. And then Muta's big face ruins it all. Big moments. That's a nice building. But with all the sakura trees and petals and stuff, it feels like it's the first episode of some high school anime, like somebody's high school debut. Yeah, you got a little bit of a something in your hair, but that's really what it feels like, right? But new opening? I think this actually is a new opening, so I've been waiting for this, so hopefully it's good. We start off on the moon, which is a good sign. Okay. Uh, okay. Are you working on the mechanics of it? Because you kind of look like it, like an engineer. Yeah, get in there, Hibito. I promise you won't blow up or anything. Of course, it's powered by rainbows. And wow, he made great. What the heck? Uh, I Moon is Oppo confirmed. That is that is terrifying. Small world. That's yeah. This opening definitely took a turn on the weirdness scale. Okay. Uh, Definitely more space themed than the last one was. Okay, that was very weird, but good, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. Lunar illusions. Opening ceremony, so it is like a lot like a, you know. Uh, yes, I got the impression. Everyone going to their new gakshiki. What are you doing, Sarika? You, you're very distracting. I'm trying to listen to the reporter lady. But feels so much like yeah, it's like basically yeah. Feels like a high school one. Very true. And Muta gets to be next to Sarika. I see he made sure that be the case. And he's definitely aware of that. Rude. I bet you are. Yeah. Yes, everyone left aside from the people that matter. Give me the microphone. Thank you. Right. A little bit awkward, but okay. Ito? Said what about it? Okay, yeah, I think I've heard that somewhere before. I guess so. To me, it looks like somebody without arms, but that's just me. I I guess so. I don't think it matters. What are you trying to say? Okay. I did get that much, but is that helpful to know right now? Maybe it is. I don't know. Basically saying Jackson does all the hard work to support the astronauts while they just go have fun in space. Is that basically what you're saying? I don't think this is the kanji for person anymore. Okay. Get a room, you two. Good to hear, though. Completely ruined that kanji. Hope you know that. Is that how you saw it? Uh, okay, I'm not gonna take that away from you. You did a good job, right? Pat, pat. Well, you impressed Mutas, which is nice. Okay. Is he really here? Or is he late? Are you just messing with us? Is he a no-show? Did he get stuck in traffic? Oh. Where'd you come from? Uh, okay. I guess that's one way to make an entrance. Glad you could make it. Somebody's pretty excitable. No need to ask this guy, O Genki Disco. Oh, rude. Uh, this is how he treats the new astronauts. Or at least Muta. uh, that wasn't all that deep, but sure. So apparently we're all drawing kanji today. Of course, he drew a lot more. Makes sense. Gotta do some training before we go into space. Wow, that is a while. You learn a foreign language in that time. Yes, I remember. Makes sense. It's definitely a team effort. Nobody ever remembers their names, though. But they're important as well. And that's the point. Okay. I think they understand. Uta, you pretty fired up? That answered that question. Well, I suppose I was productive. Well, that's not good. Have you tried poking it with a stick? So we are gonna possibly get back into that. I want to know what that flash was. That's all I have to do, as if that's not difficult. Well, hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully. I never noticed them before, but are those solar panels back there? I mean, that would make sense. That'd be a good place, a good way to get electricity up there on the moon. That's probably closer to the sun than Earth. Or at the very least, doesn't have clouds blocking it, you know? Which I suppose would be one advantage. That's one downside of solar panels on Earth, is that the clouds can sometimes really dilute it if you're unlucky. But there's no clouds on the moon, so. But I'm sure it has its own problems. Happy Moon Night. Interesting title. And he says it in English. Buddy Waters. That is an interesting name. You're gonna show us with your muscles? Come on. Amazing English. How self-sufficient. Ooh, silkworms. They probably are, but I wouldn't eat them personally. I suppose not, but are those the worms? They really are. I get it, but I still wouldn't eat it. I'll take your word for it. I prefer my current cost-effective food, ramen. Top ramen. You just buy the packages, you break it up, put it in a bowl, put water in it, boil the water, eat it, put the packet in. Not necessarily in that order. That will be my budget food. Thank you very much. But cool to get this explanation, though. Ryan won. Nice. It does happen sometimes, as we've talked about. Cool. So, are we going to find out what the Flash is this episode? Probably not. But I remain hopeful. Okay. I was going to ask if the thing has GPS, but I mean, they're not on the globe, so. I mean, everything kind of looks the same, so I get it. Well, to find out when you hit it. Well, you'll find out when you run into it. I really would love to try being on the moon. Oh, yeah, you might want to stop. You might want to stop. Okay, let's not get into a car crash, because the moon's probably the worst place to do that. We came out here to repair something, not break more stuff. Or die. So, good thing they stopped in time. That could have been much worse. Good thing Hibito caught that. And there was like no hesitation with him telling him to. Like pretty much the second that I noticed what was wrong, he was already talking. He was already telling him to stop. So Hibito really is perfect for this job. Well, apparently it's not. At least now we know. We were so distracted by the big hill. Yeah, you gotta keep on your toes. You guys cut that close. Don't sound too excited as you read this. You know, I don't blame Muta for getting bored. You really are not making it very interesting. Because if you don't sound excited as you read it, then people are not going to sound excited as they listen to it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really paying much attention to what he's saying. It sounds like he's muttering to himself, not giving a lecture. You want your patience training? If you need a lap to be a pillow, Sarika, I'm right over here. Just say the word. But yeah, pretty much everyone is going down. Aside from maybe Nita. Maybe he's fine. He might just be sleeping like that. Sleeping with his eyes open. Yeah, I think he might be sleeping with his eyes open if he's not blinking or anything. But I'm thinking. I kind of want to just shake this guy and to get some life out of him. Can you be a little bit less boring, please? Well, I kind of do. Be a little bit less insufferable to listen to. I don't think this is any better. Yeah, I can't hear a word of you. I couldn't put up with that for 2 days. Nobody said we would have to listen to insanely boring, hard to hear lectures to be astronauts. I did not sign up for this. You have a problem. Well, as we find out, there are definitely creators here, so. Yeah, definitely understandable. Okay, just be careful. That's always the question. I mean, Kibito is someone that doesn't read the manual, right? I kind of remember that. Well, try harder. Just try them both until one works. Well, somebody got something wrong, and you guys are gonna fall off again. That's not good. That is very not good. Didn't we already talk about the importance of being careful while driving on the moon? Okay, yeah, this looks really bad. I don't know how we survive this. You're not gonna cliffhanger me, are you? You're not gonna cliffhanger me? They cliffhangered me. Well, I don't know what they do about that, but there's no way they would kill off Hibito, right? Why would they do this to me? It's not a telescope, Muta. Stop being silly. What are you doing? I guess we're done with that. Yeah, I forgot to read the song title. I think the first one was Goodbye, but I'm not sure. I'm about to get a better look at it. It's a very big moon. Okay. That was the 39th episode of Space Brothers. And Muta clearly is not going to be going to space anytime soon. They made sure to let us know that there's a lot to do. Well, first of all, somebody let us know the importance of supporting the astronauts. You know, he drew the kanji for a person, Hito, on the board. And yeah, it's supposed to represent something like holding each other up, but he tried to say that, no, this guy here is clearly doing most of the work, holding up this guy that's kind of leaning back. And that's us, you know, the guys down here supporting the astronauts. So don't forget about us, because we're important too. That was more or less what he was saying. At least that's how I took it. And all that. So that's basically what he said. Then we had somebody else come by. I don't really remember either of the names that well. Murasaki, I think his name was. He came up. He didn't walk through the door like he was supposed to. He was already in like a chair next to Muta. Just came out of nowhere. A bit of a ninja, you might say. So then he jumps up there, erases what, you know, the other guy wrote, and writes his own stuff and says his own words, and he just seemed to be very excited, which is more than I can say for a certain lecture giver later in the episode. That was so bad, so horrible, so boring, so why would he even be given the job to do that if he makes it so hard to listen to? Like, you know, when I first started making reaction videos, I wasn't exactly the most excited person either. You know, I didn't really project the kind of excitement that I should to get people interested in watching. I admit that, but I still don't think at my worst I was as bad as that, so that's pretty bad on his part. So just wanted to make that clear. That's what Muta's current journey is, to basically get prepared, do all the training and lectures and stuff down here to get to the point where you can go into space. Because that's always how it's been, you know. You can't just, hey, I'm an astronaut, now let's go to space tomorrow. You do have to go through training to make sure your body can handle it, and that you are educated to know how to operate stuff and not to make any silly mistakes that'll get you killed, like taking off your helmet too soon, you know, things like that. Like, there's a lot of preparation to do, and apparently it takes longer than I would have thought. Like, they said, like, I think 2 years was dropped at some point, so gotta be some time. But in the meantime, we do have Hibito that's in space, who is still doing his thing. He needs to repair Gibson, I think they called it. I want to say they called it. Or find it. See if it needs repair. See what the deal is, basically, because they're not getting a signal from it. So he went with somebody else to do a little bit of a moon drive to find it. Almost went into a big crater, but Hibito at the last second saw that there was a hole there and just stopped. They almost didn't notice it because they were focusing so much on that hill, just thinking, hey, is that a little hill that's close by? Or a big hill that's far away, you know, whatever could it be? And then he was just like, oh crap, there's a hole, stop. And then luckily they stopped in time. However, later on in the episode, something similar happened, but they were focused on like a compartment. They were trying to get the manual, and there was 2 levers and there should have been 1, which confused them, and that was apparently worth focusing on. And this time Hibito was not paying attention and they didn't see it, and whoosh, they went off into it. Now, it looks like they're going to fall to their death, but since this is a work of fiction, there's always a chance that something silly will happen that'll save them at the last second. So I don't think that's game over for them just yet, especially because they cliffhangered us on it. Usually when they cliffhanger you, there's a reveal in the next episode saying like, oh, don't worry guys, it wasn't that bad. You know, usually if they're actually going to kill off somebody, they wouldn't do a cliffhanger like that because it's a little bit tacky, more than a little bit in my opinion. So I think they'll be fine. I don't know exactly what Hibito will do. It's the good news is they are in the moon, so it's not impossible to like jump out of the vehicle and get out of the crater, you know, while it's still falling, because you can, as we've seen in the anime before, you can jump really high on the moon and boom, hit your head on the ceiling. But if there's no ceiling, you would just keep going. So it should be possible to do that. Just like jump out of the vehicle while it's in the air. But of course, you still sacrifice the vehicle, which would still suck. Especially because you have limited oxygen. It would still suck a lot, but you could survive if you did that. So that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that would be a possibility to keep them alive. So that's currently where I'm thinking about it. We also had a little bit of, what did they call it? Moon Drive. I can't remember exactly what they called it. Oh, here it is. The thing's about Happy Moon Night, which I'm pretty sure they said in English, so that's funny. Because when I first read it on the screen, I was like, you know, that probably sounds a little bit less silly in Japanese, but then I said it in English, and I'm just like, okay, it's thoroughly silly. I mean, Happy Moon Night, what does it even sound like? I don't know. I don't even know what to make of that title. But if they like it, then that's fine. But we actually got, one thing was really cool that we got with the episode was a lot of insight into the living situation that they have, like especially the food situation, because they grow vegetables. They also grow silkworms, not to make silk, not to make silk. They raise them to eat them because it's apparently very efficient to do so. And they just cook them up and eat them, and that's so gross, at least to me, from my perspective. I could never imagine eating bugs, but I get that that's a thing that you can do. And that if you're in space, you can't be picky about food. And of course, in Japanese culture, it's bad to be picky about food in general. But especially in space, you really can't afford to be picky about food. I get that, but I don't think I could do it personally. I mean, if I was starving, I might be able to push myself to do it, but I wouldn't be happy about it. That is for sure. But yeah, the one lecture segment, man, just it was so hard to listen to that. Just I don't even remember what he was talking about at all. Like not at all. I just couldn't be bothered to focus on it. How is it even possible to sound that much like you don't care about what you're reading? Because seriously, if you don't sound like you care about what you're reading, why would the people you're lecturing to care about it? That's the question. Why would they? They usually wouldn't, unless they already really care about it a lot, and to the point where your delivery doesn't matter, which is not the case for the vast majority of people. Then you're kind of just wasting everyone's time. That's really what you were doing there. Kenji did, it was clearly doing his best to get it, but we don't know how much he really picked up on it. All he really got from him was that he wasn't speaking loud enough, and he told him to do better on that, and I don't think he even did. At some point, you couldn't even hear him again. I was just like, okay, this is so pointless. Why is this even happening? And I'm sure everybody there was thinking the same thing. Nita, he looked really focused, but we were speculating, by we I mean me and Muta, speculating that he was actually sleeping. We didn't actually get confirmation on that, like which I thought we would, but I still think that's the case. Or he was daydreaming hardcore, and I did that a lot back in school. I would just sit there in class and just daydream. I won't say what specifically about because this is a safe for work website, but I'm just saying that I daydreamed a lot in class. That's a thing that I did. So, and yeah, like I said, the whole entrance ceremony thing that they were doing that reminded me a lot of Japanese high school entrance ceremonies. You had those sakura petals all flying around, much like which has always been kind of an anime thing of showing you that it's spring and all that, and the new school term has started. And you usually have a character be like, yay, I'm a high school student now, my whole life's gonna change. I'll probably join a club and get some friends and all that. So it just reminded me so much of that I had to actively remind myself that I'm not watching a high school anime as I was watching that segment. Which was not easy when Sariko was in the background of one shot being extremely cute, just, being silly. So that was a thing. Let's see. Wonder if I could find that. I'll try a little bit. See. But yeah, I guess I could talk about the opening a little bit. The opening was definitely different than the previous one. Because the previous one was basically just Hibito and Muta working together to get somewhere, Muta's bike broke or something, and Hibito gave him a ride and all that. There wasn't a lot of space theme in the last opening, but there was definitely that in this opening. Like started off on the moon, got rockets going to the moon, so it makes sense now because Muta's an astronaut as well. So definitely makes sense to have more of that space stuff. So I like that. It was also very silly. Like it really got a lot sillier than I thought it would be at some points. Like we had a bunch of oppos on the moon with Muta wigs. It was very silly. But But yeah, Nidi, not a lot to say on it. Just the two brothers when they were younger playing music together. I guess that was fine. Pretty similar to a lot of the other EDs. But a good episode. I don't know when it will be. It probably won't be for a while, but I do look forward to when Muta finally does go into space, hopefully with Hibito at some point. That would be great, assuming Hibito didn't die in that crater right there. But we'll have to wait till next episode to find out if that's the case. So, see you then. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.